Good evening.
Hi everyone.
It's Tasty Tuesday
With Dave
and Claire. And tonight we're bringing some really simple recipes to you, but I think that's what you need right now.
Exactly.
Just to get into the groove of cold. Some people saw snow. So, what are you making?
We'll put together for you a nice warm drink on such a nice chilly evening. It is a spiced orange apple Amaretto punch.
All right, that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
And I'm going to make my favorite mouthful, and that's beef stroganoff. So we're going to start with Dave.
Okay. This is a very simple drink to make. It involves a number of different things. 1 cup of orange juice, and this is going to be for 2 recipes. So I've got a cup of orange juice, and I'm going to use tonight our, how do you call this? Our enamel cast iron 1 quart milk pot. It's a lot of verbiage. So that's what I'm going to use tonight. So I add 1 cup of orange juice. I add 1 cup of apple juice. And if you get things from the store, these nice little containers give you pretty much what you need for 2 drinks. You could also take this and make a big thing of it. You can put it in like a crock pot and have it ready to go. If you want to have the kids have some of this, make sure you don't put the amaretto in first and just have them do this other part. So I've got my apple juice, I've got my orange juice, and in there I'm going to also add 4 cloves for taste. Yeah, we're going to put a 5th one in there.
Okay.
All right. We're going to put a dash of cinnamon. And then we're also going to put in there a cinnamon stick. So what we do is we bring this to a boil, and then we will add that to the amaretto, and we will have our cocktail. So it's very, very simple. So I'm going to crank this up and bring that to a boil while Claire is beef stroganoffing. See you in a bit.
All right. So beef stroganoff is my favorite recipe. I just love it. I love the mushrooms in there. So, and if you don't like mushrooms, do whatever you want with this recipe. But we will take a roast out of our freezer, and then we'll go ahead and make half of it on our rotisserie in our air fryer, and just put rotisserie seasoning on it. And that's done in about 15 to 17 minutes. And then the rest, you want to cube up. And I like to use our chef knife. This is just really heavy duty and will really cut through everything. Now, the glass container, when I know this is full, I know that it is ready to go. In fact, I see I missed cutting a piece here. So you just cut it in cubes. So I will do that so I have this all ready to go. And then I'll also take a whole 16 ounce of pasta, and I'll cook that up. We'll use half of it for 1 meal, and then I fill up the small batter bowl and I put the rest in here. I do like to put a little bit of the garlic oil in just to give it some flavor and so they don't stick together. So in my pot, I have already cooked up. I put some butter in there, about 3 tablespoons, and then some mushrooms. So if you get the whole mushrooms, go ahead and slice them up in your quick slice. This week at the Pig, it was actually cheaper for me to get a large package of the mushrooms and already sliced. So I just went ahead and got those browned and kind of wilted a little bit, whatever the correct word is for that. And then we're going to add some onion. And I think this is such an important part because it adds so much flavor. It adds a little bit of texture. It's just so, so good. So I would, go like with a yellow onion, something sweet, and it's going to add a ton of flavor. So we're just taking off the peel. And then you can hear that's coming to a boil, or
coming to a boil.
A sizzle again is what it is. So I'm just going to cut this into a couple pieces, and we're going to put this in the manual food processor, and we're going to chop these up in no time at all. In fact, I would even put in a larger onion than this. But I grabbed the last onion in the house, and that is all chopped up and ready to go. So I'm going to hand this off to Dave and have him add that to the mushrooms and to the butter. And it will just soak in that butter flavor. Oh, it's so good. And they'll get glossy. So the other thing that we're going to add, typically when that would be done, I would add the beef to that, just to kind of keep things in one pot. But we want to get this done for you. So we're going to put this in our other pan, and we're going to put a little bit of the garlic oil, and we're also going to add the Kansas City barbecue. Typically I will add the smoked paprika, and so we were doing some taste testing, and we actually, you know, I love smoked paprika. We actually love the Kansas City barbecue taste a little bit more. So I'm going to put in a teaspoon of that, and I'm going to add some garlic. You can press garlic in, but for things like this, I like to just put some of our garlic seasoning in. And I'm just going to put this in the pan, and Dave is going to get this rolling. And we want to just toss these up on a high heat and not cook them too long, because otherwise they get tough. All right. The other things that we need are some, or a can of mushroom soup. And yes, it has the flip top, and yes, I'm opening it because I just hate what it does to my scrapers. We're going to take this off. So when that is done, we're just going to add a can of mushroom soup to our onions and to our mushrooms and the butter. Okay? And then this, I just heat up in the microwave, since they're all cooked through, for about 2 to 3 minutes, and these are going to be ready to go. So, Dave, how is your stuff coming?
I don't know. I'm over here
Okay, I'll
cooking
switch.
meat and mushrooms.
I'll switch.
Well, it's nothing really to switch. It's not boiling yet, so we'll just monitor everybody's stuff. Smells very apple cider-ish.
Looks like it's getting nice and hot.
It is getting very hot.
Do you have to strain it?
Nope. Well, looks like it just, the cloves are floating, so I could just pick those out of there.
Okay.
You know, I'm not sure what a clove, what does a clove add to things? What does a clove do?
I think the cloves, and this will date me, but thinking about when I was growing up, and did anybody else's mom take an orange and put cloves in it as a decoration?
Yeah,
on the table?
like for turkey wings or something, right?
Yeah, or just as a decoration.
Oh, there's nobody on the camera.
So that's what I think about. But pumpkin pie, any of that. So this is just...
Cooking up a storm over there, sir.
I am. These are cooking really quickly. And these are about ready to go. So I'm going to add the soup into this. And that small mixing scraper is the perfect size for in here. We're going to just mix that in. And then this burger or meat is just about ready to go. You know, this recipe was from Pampered Chef, and they use hamburger. And as a power cooking meal, I don't know if you can hear me, but a power cooking meal where you cook up all the hamburger, about 9 pounds, I guess, and then you would freeze just the hamburger, and then you make up like a freezer meal, and you could do a stroganoff. And that's how I started with this. I'm always up for a good steak. And these are just cheap pieces of meat. This is actually a chuck roast, and it's just cut up. So that cooked up so nicely. If you're not familiar, this is our non-stick cookware. Just mixing this up like that. The non-stick cookware cleans up, like I could rinse this and it would be so nice and clean and ready to go. This is a 10-inch. But what I love is for storage that these handles come off, and you can use them within the family of the scrapers. So this is pretty thick. So I'll just add a little bit of milk into here just to lighten it up. And then this is gonna be ready to go. I'm gonna switch over to you. Hey, if your mushrooms are too big, you can go ahead and take the salad chopper and chop up those mushrooms so they go a little bit further. And they're so good. Mushrooms are the best. All right, I'm gonna flip, Dave.
You're flipping?
I'm flipping.
Okay, we've got a nice boil on the drink here, and I wedged some oranges just for our garnish. I am going to add to my glass before I pour that in a little bit of Amaretto. How much is dependent upon whether you like Amaretto or not. I'm going to put like maybe a ½ ounce in here, not make it too crazy strong. And then this pan has a nice little pouring spout to it, but it is a little warm. It does get a little warm. So,
That pot is just out for the holidays.
well, it's just a holiday pot, huh?
It's a holiday pot. Think about
All
hot
right.
chocolate.
And I'm just going to pour this in this glass over the Amaretto.
Oh, that pours nicely.
Except my orange is in the way.
You're so decorative.
That's me, Decorative Dave.
Ah, look what we've done.
What have you done to me, Claire? All right, so we have our nice, warm, it's a long word, a long name, spiked orange apple amaretto punch.
I
Very
think
long
we'll
name.
rename that.
Yeah.
And I am just dishing this up. I have our pasta on our plate, and we are just going to put some of this on top, and we are going to eat. So good. So good. And that is dinner, really, in no time. We'll see you next week.
Yes. Are you coming over here, Claire?
I'll have one drink with you.
It's going to be warm.
I'm excited to try this. Don't you all like hot drinks? I think we'll
On a
do a
cold
couple
day.
of those.
Burn yourself now.
Super. You know what this reminds me of?
I have no idea.
When I was younger, we made Russian tea powder. Anybody else that had like iced tea mix, Tang? A couple of those flavorings, and it was a nice cold, but it was also really good hot. That's
Did you
what it
have
reminds me
amaretto
of.
in yours too?
No,
Did not. Good.
I don't think we had it in the house.
Okay.
So, cheers.
Have a great week.
We'll see you next week on
Tasty Tuesday.
Good
Bye-bye.
job, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.